What a dismal, unadventurous, gutless bunch are the bosses of Britain's biggest companies and their professional bodies. As Brexit nears, with the promise of freedom from the overregulated, inward-looking, protectionist bloc of the EU, wonderful opportunities are opening up for RMS with the vision to grab them. Yet where are the business leaders with the imagination and courage to blow the trumpet for Britain's prospects in the wider world? This week, we've heard nothing but petulance and sullen resentment. Ask them privately, and most will admit that Brexit will bring nothing like the upheaval predicted by Project Fear. After all, trade with our European partners accounts for barely a tenth of the UK economy, the FTH largest in the world. Indeed, 9 out of 10 of our small and medium-sized RMS don't export to the EU, although all are bound by Brussels rules. Meanwhile, over 70% of national income comes from services, a sector largely unaffected by the single market. So even if Brussels opts for self-harm by starting a trade war, our partners sell more to us than we do to them. Brexit would put only a tiny fraction of our economy at risk. And it's not as if all our EU trade would suddenly cease. Overseas RMS have been quick to grasp these truths. Indeed, in a resounding display of confidence, foreign direct investment in Britain has risen to a record high since the Brexit vote. But what about our own business leaders? Off the record, most may be happy to admit that the dangers of withdrawal have been wildly exaggerated, so much so that many FTSE 100 RMS don't even mention Brexit in their company reports. Yet in public, they've uttered not a squeak of support for Britain's negotiators, leaving David Davis and his team to GHT alone against the obstruction of that sneering Luxembourgist tippler, Jean-Claude Juncker, and his Eurocrat commissars. Contemptibly, FTSE 100 bosses even deliberately embarrassed Theresa May by leaking Noel Zero's request for them to sign a letter backing her strategy and declaring a commitment to make Brexit a success. These are the same bosses, remember, some now laden with honours, who sycophantically parroted Project Fear's lies at the Cameron government's behest. Do they really want Mrs May to fail, with the prospect of Jeremy Corbyn, John McDonnell and the trade unions running their affairs? Given the constant Ramona carping of their house journal, the Japanese-owned Financial Times, you might well get that impression. Adding to the chorus of moans, meanwhile, Institute of Directors Chief Barbara Judge this week attacked the leaked Home Office plans to control immigration after Brexit. True, a low-wage foreign workforce may suit lazy bosses with multi-million-pound salaries. Yet it betrays both Britain's unemployed and the hundreds of thousands on zero-hours contracts or in part-time work, who yearn for full-time jobs. Leave aside that mass migration puts intolerable pressure on housing, public services and social cohesion. Can't Lady Judge see that cheap foreign labor is also a crippling deterrent to improving productivity, the key to prosperity? This country has so much to boast about, not least our global lead in the industries of the future, such as biotechnology and artificial intelligence. It is sheer defeatism to suggest we should remain a low-wage, mass immigration economy, enthralled to an unelected foreign bureaucracy whose sclerotic policies have caused mass unemployment across many of its member states. Business leaders should stop acting last year's battle, speak up for Britain and our negotiators, and strain every sinew to make Brexit a success.